Greetings everyone, and welcome to another Arketer Raid. A more classic, if not quite the same, as Arketer Raids past. As you can see, no attempt to search for Zen at all. I'm full upon Zen. In fact, I highly doubt I shall ever do another Zen-seeking stream out of character otherwise. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, you'll be happy to know the pain is over. There is no one with me live at present, although if anyone wants to join me, that is a possibility. But there has never been less of a feeling that I need anyone. I don't need anyone anymore. I don't need me. I don't need anyone else ever again. Any case, never mind. Greetings in chat to Snippy700, the Ghost of Ronald Reagan, K. Shull, Assassin of the Grey, Cog the Brutal, Nexus Hunter, Carlos Fish, Brain Shatterer, and that seems about it. Wait a second. Where is it? Siki? I have no idea what we're talking about, Snippy700, but that's fine. If you're wondering about the weird duplication, well, if there's no one else in the call, it's just me basically looking at me in the call awkwardly. As some of you may know, especially those who've been long-term fans, who've watched me from the very early days, seeing myself on camera in capacity is intellectually very painful. It hurts my sense of self, I presume. Look, I don't know why, it's just terrible. Thank you for promotion, Assassin the Grey. I very much appreciate it. Please note, we do have a raffle today, once again, by generosity of one Exodus, who provided a Steam key for Mega Man Legacy Collection number 1. I'll play you the trailer for that here in a bit. But, no, we're in no rush. Why does everything have to be in such a rush? You know, when I was feeling a bit down, I was inclined to think I needed to rush to keep up with a tight schedule. But then I realized, no one cares. No one cares. And that's fine. Why should they? But if they don't, why should I? Except for my own reasons, namely to entertain you, the viewer, at home, all 9 of you. Really do appreciate your attention. No refunds. Now, that's right, Assassin Grey is correct. If you want to join in this raffle for the Mega Man Legacy Collection number 1, please tag me in chat so I can be sure to add you to the list of people who will get numbers gifted to them by cosmic background radiation, one of which will secure that key. And the rest will just be novelties. But, you know, it's cosmic radiation. What do you expect from it? And there's only one of you, well, it's, you know, a guaranteed win that you will get regardless. But I have to press the button. It's a quirk. Well, I just realized this article is very poorly aligned on screen. But it's BBC News Pigeon, and most people who read these, it hurts their brains anyway, so they can't see all the words that don't make any sort of logical sense in reality. Cog the Brutal is into the raffle. Okay, well, hold on. I must now write that down before I have a chance to forget, and I have misplaced the clipboard. Again. But I have, for once, actually... What's the opposite of self-sabotage but still unexpected? Like, somehow gotten ahead of myself in a good way. Now, next is going to join the raffle in Kefki's stead. Okay, that's Korg. Next is in the hopes that Kefki turns up to take their spot. I'm going to allow it. I don't think that's necessarily a legit way of doing things, but then how many of the things I do are classically legit anyway? I just need to relax and go with the flow, and not get angry, and not break anything, because that's all part of good anger management, which of course I've always had. Yes, indeedy. Very calm. Right. According to the riddle, Nexus Hunter, you are both in for the raffle thus far. But I think we should get into this first article here. As many of you know, whenever I'm stressed about future events or something going on in the world that seems quite obnoxious, I usually try to find one of these serious articles, but in Pidgin, on BBC News Pidgin, because there's no article in BBC News Pidgin that can be taken seriously, no matter how dire the subject at hand. I find it magical, really. Greetings in chat now to Octane Junkie, Cadunt, and good relative time of day to you, Green Badger Outdoors. Cadunt, if by chance you wanted to join in on the call, I would be very pleased to send you a link. It's been a while since we've talked in voice, on a stream anyway. Just throwing it out there. I think I will need Kefki to show up in the case that you do win. I mean, I know Korg wants it, but we can come back to this when we get to the raffle. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise. Coming up, Cadunt. Yes, you can even watch me doing this in real time. It's exciting. Great TV. Absolutely fantastic work by myself. I really thought ahead. I know what I'm doing. Just, K-A-D... Okay, right. Incoming via Discord DM. Because without running the AI waifu thing, I can actually have Discord up for the duration, but not that and Discord. Apparently my system isn't cutting edge enough. That's to be expected. It is getting a bit long in the tooth. One of these days I will sort that out. But in your Discord DMs, you have a link to the show. You can join me or not at will. Meanwhile, Wetin be the brain chip where America approved for human trial? Yes, Elon Musk brain chip from say Demdon receive approval from the US Food and Drugs Administration to carry out their first tests on human beings. The Neuralink implant company won help restore Pippo's sight and mobility by linking human brains to computers. He say immediate plans, no day to recruit participants. FDA bid first reject one earlier bid by Neuralink to approve the test on safety grounds, according to one report from March by Reuters news agency, where he cited multiple current and former employees. Greetings, Cadunt! It's really been quite a while since we've talked to the screen. How are you today? I hope you're well.
I have a pulse.
It's a good start.
Which is questionable as to whether or not that's gooder.
No, I am definitely in the optimistic side of these things, after all. No pulse, nothing else gets done, good or bad, and, well, it's an inevitability that happens anyway, so definitely not something to really rush towards. Yes, indeed, I'm with you, Octane Junkie. I'm not really keen on brain chips in my case, because not only is it just the questionable concept of having a brain chip, it's being the first generation of people to have a brain chip. You know, when they make all the really gross amateur mistakes they didn't realize they were making. Like, I'm terribly afraid we're going to hear about one guy who got a brain chip, fell down, and just scrambled his thought gelatin, because that's some pretty delicate stuff up there.
I mean, I could see some people being in need of something like a brain chip because the brains that they have don't quite work or function in the way that makes them work or function.
Well, that's the push that Neuralink is using here. Again, the implant company won help restore Pippo's sight and mobility by linking human brains to computers. And I'm sure that a lot of people who are in such situations where this does make perfect sense. I just have some misgivings about where they intend to take the technology from there. As Arketer Jr. said, wait till the establishment weaponizes it. And we know they will, because they weaponize the hell out of pretty much everything else.
I mean, isn't that the whole point of new technology, is to find a way to weaponize it?
Or some people, yes. I have somewhat more optimistic aspirations for such technology, but wherever it's in control of the government, my hopes for wise applications sink rapidly. Well, in any case, this is a very early stage, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons Elon Musk really backs this particular venture, as he believes it might be one of the only ways to avoid a truly messy war between humans and AI. I'm not entirely clear on why he believes that. I'm guessing he chose the synthesis option in Mass Effect 3. Which, to be fair, is probably one of the best options presented, along the ridiculous trinary options they threw in because they didn't know how to end the game. Like, they just lifted color-coded buttons out of Deus Ex and, well, this is old, very useless nerd news, and we don't need to dwell on that. Mr. Big Tongue covered all of my rage on that topic. What would happen to that guy?
Oh, Assassin of the Great. There's still plenty of zombifying fungi out there, I'm sure. Probably in the Amazon.
Oh, indeed. Yeah. Plenty of terrifying fungi out there. And it was never necessary to create human zombies anyway. Ideology seems to do a much better job of that regardless.
Unfortunately, that is far too accurate. Oh my god.
Okay, move on. Right. Experts don't give warnings saying Neuralink brain implants go require extensive testing to overcome technical and ethical challenges if them go become widely available. But wetting be Neuralink. One company, Neuralink, weighed the rocket company SpaceX CEO Elon Musk co-founded for 2016. They hope to connect humans and computers, according to the website. The company don't design one microchip, way dem go take connect Pippo brain to computer. Dem hope say go dis chips go help treat conditions like paralysis and blindness. Ego also helps certain disabled Pippo to savvy how to use computer and mobile technology. The chips, way dem don't test on monkeys. They designed to interpret signals way the brain produce and send the information to devices via Bluetooth. Again, for people who will not have access to walking and sight without this, fantastic. But this is objectively one of the key necessary steps for a proper cyberpunk dystopia. And personally, I don't think we're going to see the punk factor nearly enough. Terrifying corporate overlord, sure, but punk fighters that can actually win it, the fight? Meanwhile, and I, of course, credit Kadun for this, we have reached 13 likes, which means this stream has been a success already. Thank you, Kadun, and thank you, viewers.
Well, you don't need to thank me. I just, almost every time I pop in, I remind people to, smooshy the likey.
And it is much appreciated. You know, I really do think moving the shows back 2 hours was a good call. This just seems like a livelier crowd at a livelier time. Or maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better. It's not well on that. Well, what shall we move on to next? Oh, I know. Let's go ahead and get the stream raffle item trailer played. Because this is going to be quite boring to play for a minute, and you can't hear the sounds, I'm afraid, Kadant. Apologies. I really should find a way to fix that.
No, you're fine.
It's one of a variety of personal failings. Or this could be yours.
We're sparking.
You know, this seems like one he might have regretted missing out on, but I did ask him if he wanted to show up. He was too busy doing something else, which is perfectly fair. I wasn't going to lobby him to show up and say, it's going to be a Mega Man game again. That felt like a bit cruel. But it is.
I'll do it. Like, I'll message Sparky right now and be like, "Ha, loser! Guess what Ark is doing for the raffle right now? The little thingy. Like, go ahead, guess. Go ahead. Is it Mega Man? Because you're one of the biggest Mega Man people I know."
He's kind of built his entire persona around his Mega Man. Yeah. Again, I'm not a taunter, but I do know that since Next Center has already set a standard of entering a raffle for someone else, I mean, you could strike out a deal with him, and you could just pass along the key. It's all just a key that can copy and paste. But it's already been quite unfair to call the Brutal the only person who seems to be joining the raffle thus far for themselves. I have some misgivings, but I overthink everything, and I'm trying to stop. It's been a long road to just get this relaxed. Okay,
It's
well, in
okay.
any case,
No
that's...
stress.
Yes. Let the stress go. There's not as much responsibility here as I would like to pretend. Greetings in chat to Devil Pup. Glad you could make it. And if you...
Hi, Devil Pup.
Snoozing it and basking his tears. Now, if I got through having the stream being just horribly interrupted yesterday, there's nothing that's going to happen here that won't pain me. Probably. Here's a fun topic. Legal Insurrection reports that judges at a high school debate tournaments increasingly won't allow debate.
But what? Okay, no. I'm gonna be zen.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be zen about this.
And you kind of have to, really, after encouraging me to be zen as well. See, it's reciprocal. You encourage me to be zen, I encourage you to be zen. As we talk about someone who had this to say with a straight face, apparently. Before anything else, including being a debate judge, I am a Marxist-Leninist Maoist. I cannot check the revolutionary proletarian signs at the door when I'm judging.
What?
I don't think it's going to get better, but that's a hell of a quote, as they've clearly recognized. As we have pointed out countless times, the left no longer wants to debate the issues. They would prefer it if their political and ideological opponents would just sit down and shut up. When they say leftists, of course, they're going pretty extreme. I think there's, like, worlds of spectrum before that point, but certainly filthy, filthy commie scum.
Lowered expectations.
Now this attitude may even make its way into the actual activity of academic debating. According to an article reported by James Fishback, and after judges are making their stances clear, students who argue capitalism can reduce poverty or Israel has a right to defend itself will lose, no questions asked.
Will no quit. Am I old? Is that what's going on? Because I always thought that a debate was point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint in a different kind of formatting, but along those lines where it's just based on these facts, here are these points as to why my side believes what it believes. Okay, never mind. It loses no matter what. Correct. Yeah, there you go. All right. Yes. Loses no matter what.
It's not just being old. It's about, not having your brain eaten by ideology, as, of course, not only these judges, but the people who enabled them to hold the position of judge when they're not going to do the job of judging and are, in fact, self-admittedly just there to pick the people who say the things they want to hear. Which is just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking I would want to read that Fishback article as well, but I don't think we have time. It's flying by
Can
with a
we?
charming fashion. I like to think this means we're having fun here. Or suffering can cause time to fly too. They never tell you that,
I
do
am.
they?
I am definitely suffering.
I,
Definitely, definitely suffering. Uh, uh,
well,
uh.
we'll just power this article, and then I'll try to see what else I have on here that might be a bit more lighter-hearted.
Can we go back to like installing brains with brain chips and downloading or uploading information from or to our brains for the sake of helping people, of course.
You know,
For the
for the
sake of
sake
helping.
maintaining a lighthearted and a measure of levity over the course of these streams, maybe I should just put pigeon articles in between every other article. We don't have to read them all, just go through the titles. That's really all that needs to happen to cheer me, at least. In any case, from Fishback. My 4 years in a high school debate team in Broward County, Florida, taught me to challenge ideas, questions, assumptions, and think outside the box. It also helped me to overcome a terrible childhood stutter, and I wasn't half bad. I placed 9th in my first time at a National Speech and Debate Association Nationals, 6th at Harvard National, and I was runner-up at the Emory National. After college, between 2017 and 2019, I coached a debate team in an underprivileged high school in Miami. There I witnessed the pillars of high school debate start to crumble. Since then, the decline has continued, from a competition that rewards evidence and reasoning to one that punishes students for what they say and how they say it. Fishbeck goes on to explain that the students can look up debates and debate judges on Tabroom, where the judges can describe themselves in profile. Then Fishbeck offers real examples of what the student might see. Let's say when a high school sophomore clicks Tabroom, she sees that her judge is Lila Lavender, the 2019 National Debate Champion, whose paradigm reads, before anything else, including being a debate judge, I am a Marxist, Leninist, and Maoist. I cannot check the revolutionary proletarian science at the door when I'm judging. I will no longer evaluate and thus never vote for rightist, capitalist, imperialist positions arguments. Examples of arguments in nature as follows: fascism good, capitalism good, imperialist war good, neoliberalism good, defenses of US or otherwise bourgeois nationalism, Zionism, or normalizing Israel, colonialism good, US white fascist policing good, etc.
Then don't be a judge. You're supposed to be neutral and just it's supposed to be about the points within the debate. That's what it's supposed to be. If you have certain beliefs, then you probably shouldn't be a judge, especially if you're going to be steadfast in them, which there's nothing wrong in being steadfast in your beliefs. But when it comes to something like a debate, you have to be as neutral as possible. It's just like when picking a jury for a trial, you want people who could be as neutral and open as possible. That should be the same in debates. That should be one of the start. Oh God, why do people just?
Yes.
Also, congratulations, Brain Shatterer, for getting 2,000 subs.
Congratulations.
Something positive in the midst of whatever this is.
Yep, vastly larger than mine. Well done. Now, here, I have to say that, strictly speaking, it seems like the legal system isn't really doing all that much better, and I think we could probably trace it back to the same source if we really dug. But I'm stung by the fact that this is the 2019 National Debate Champion. What were the policies of the judges who made them the 2019 National Debate Champion? Because what we've seen here is someone who does not seemingly have a functional mind. So all that training and debate either failed horribly, or the subversion of the judging system goes much deeper than this.
Let's not get too much into it. She could have become debate champion based on having made good points and having done a lot of studies in regards to the arguments or the subject of debate during those what's the
They
word?
had a brain
I forget.
stroke or abducted by a government brainwashing program, or their successes in work of the Kamala Harris approach. In any case, well, no, this is too much speculation, and that's not going to lead anywhere good. Debate Judge Shubham Gupta's paradigm reads, if you're discussing immigrants in and around and describe a person as illegal, I will immediately stop the round, give you the loss, with low speaker points. Give you a stern lecture, and then talk to your coach. I will not have you making the debate space unsafe.
A debate space is always safe because it is merely a matter of bringing what facts you have in regards to supporting your point, in regards to the subject matter. That should be what it is. That should always be what it is.
To make something like this something that you can't make unsafe by voicing opposing opinions, how does anyone fail to realize that what this means is they know their positions are so weak, so backwards, that they are indefensible? They are so indefensible,
What if
they have to prevent them from being questioned at all.
clearly this is a matter of words or weapons? And so whenever they say certain words, they are causing physical harm to their opponents because
they
their
invented?
it's
Stochastic terrorism, wasn't it? This came up recently because I know that AOC was very happy to use those big words with the many syllables. At the same time, they're egregiously ignoring things like designated good guy side of international conflict no one has any rational stake in Ukraine, putting out a government hit list including several journalists, as well as one Jimmy Dore. That all gets a pass, but oh boy, you shouldn't say a naughty word on Twitter. That makes you a bad man. But that's drifting into another topic I don't want to get into on time. That's one of the few things that threatens to get me down if I dwell on too long. Look, let's just move on to the true threat here, or at least for Australia, senior citizens. Crikey, she's coming right for us! A 95-year-old woman who was tasered by police in an Australian care home, sparking public outcry, has died. At 95, it's no guarantee that this was directly related to the tasering, but I'm pretty sure it didn't help.
more than like
Claire
I
Nellen.
mean, imagine
No,
it this way: an 85-year-old. Maybe they tasered her because they thought she was having a heart attack, and they didn't have a defibrillator on hand.
That Cork has a joke for us. What did the gangster say to his grandmother? I have a feeling it's quite relevant.
Always look on the bright side of death.
Meanwhile, greetings in chat to Kefki. Now you can tell me, did you want to enter a raffle for Mega Man Legacy Collection #1, Kefki? Because Nexus Hunter has basically held a spot for you if you want to take it. And if you don't, then you can get yourself off the list. So I can scratch that off. It's your call, but please do answer on it. And Cog the Brutal answered, "Gee, you knit?" Gangster say to his grandmother. Gee. Look. I'm sure that's hilarious. I just haven't gotten it yet. And when I do, I'm sure it's going to absolutely double me over. Okay, Kefki and Korg are in for the raffle for Legacy Collection 1 Mega Man. Did anyone else want in on that? Yeah? I guess. Back to the incredibly fascinating story where we try to learn how some Australian police thought it was absolutely justified to tase the hell out of a 95-year-old grandma.
They're Australian.
That was even part of it. Claire Narron was critically injured after police responded to reports she was wandering around the home with a steak knife at about 4 a.m. last Wednesday. South Wales Police Force said she died surrounded by family and loved ones. The officer who tasered Miss Noland has been charged with assault. The 33-year-old senior constable will face court in early on charges of recklessly causing grievous bodily harm, assault occasioning actual body harm, and common assault. He remains suspended from duty with pay while investigations continue. Let's see if the Australian Justice will step on that point. Miss Nolan lived in a care home in the town of Cooma, about 114 kilometers away from Canberra, Australia's capital city. Interstate police said their thoughts and condolences remain with those who were lucky enough to know, love, and be loved by Miss Nolan during life. She led hallmarked by family, kindness, and community. Last week, police said she was quote-unquote armed with a steak knife. On Friday, they confirmed that she required a walking frame to move, and the officer discharged his taser after she began approaching at, quote-unquote, at a slow pace. Crikey, she's coming right for me!
So, have you ever seen the Austin Powers movies?
Yes, I have.
Or the Deadpool movie, where he goes after the guy with a pony. Just this would be a great comedy and tragedy all in one.
It is. That's the way you laugh or you cry, and you might as well laugh, really. Crying isn't going to help. You can get angry afterwards either way, if you happen to be within reach of this problem.
It's too ridiculous. It's too ridiculous that they felt it necessary to tase a grandma who was just shuffling over to the...
Kick ass, young man! You better run!
Maybe she insulted Steve Irwin. I would forgive them for that. If she said, "I'll get you like that stingray got Steve."
Miss Noland is believed to have suffered a fractured skull and serious brain bleed after falling and hitting her head during the incident. It has prompted calls for a state parliamentary inquiry and the release of police body cam, patient with concentration, which... Why isn't that already out? Because they know, I think we can all pretty much guess, how absurd it's going to look. I'm guessing part of this...
Did the... Just... It's so ridiculous, too. I'm sorry. I can't...
That was truly extraordinary.
It's not a knife. This is a knife.
At age 95,
Dear God.
I suspect his authority was insulted by her not stopping when he said stop, but at 95, I might expect she was just approaching him because...
85.
No, 95. 95.
Oh, I thought it was 85.
95.
95.
Who can only move with a frame. Somehow intimidated an officer so much they saw fit to tase them.
I mean, I would have just, I don't know, disarmed her. Mind you, I have a brain.
She requires a frame to move. If he had taken away the dangerous weapon that apparently was an elderly person's walker, they might have had the same result when she fell over and cracked her head. He just had to go that extra mile to be a dick about it, it would seem.
Wouldn't it be funny if she's just approaching them, couldn't understand what she's saying, and then they later see that there was like, a cake or pie behind them, and what she was saying was something along the lines of, "Here, I'll get you a slice of pie there, Sonny." Like, what the I just keep imagining scenarios as to why. As to why.
I have some questions as
She's
to
coming
who...
right at us.
I also want to know who the hell made the reports that she was wandering around the home with a steak knife, assuming they somehow knew that at 4 a.m. Why would this be cause to call the police? Shouldn't
If she was at a care home and maybe one of her caretakers was like, "All right, now you gotta put the knife down. Hey, come on, put the knife down. Don't you tell me what to do. Hey." Oh, okay, I'm gonna call the cops. Hey, she's...
Cranky. I just think that if it's a care worker doing that, calling the police seems like a bit of a jump for dealing with a 95-year-old who requires a frame to move around.
I mean, maybe it's protocol. I don't have any rhyme or reason as to why somebody would call the police on her unless she was truly, like, going about in a violent way. And then second off, why the police wouldn't just disarm her. Because it makes no sense. As she approaches slowly with her walker, "I'm gonna kill you with a Zamboni." Oh.
Who knows what might have happened if he hadn't acted swiftly. She might have, like, scuffed his boot with the frame. Well, let's move on to something not as light-hearted or as sad. You might have heard about this, and you might not have. It seems like it should be bigger news than it was. 60,000 pounds of explosive chemical lost during rail shipment, officials say. 60,000 pounds.
Lost.
Just whoopsie doodles. It's gone now. We don't know how or when, but if it's spilled, it's probably fine.
Check their payments and see who may have helped them lose it. That's all I'm saying.
If we were going to be finding out where this 60,000 pounds went at some point in the near future, in a way, of course, the FBI didn't know about, but it was on the radar. The company transporting ammonium nitrate from Wyman, California, said the quote-unquote, the release should pose no risk to public health or environment if the loss resulted from a leak, as in, apparently they don't. Shouldn't this have been updated by now, you would think? I would have thought. How can that happen without them knowing whether it's been lost through a leak or not?
How could they not know that something... What? How? Okay. Due to a leak. A leak in regards to explosive chemicals is bad.
Octane suggests that they might have gone to some war front somewhere by an outfit agency. I'm thinking that's entirely plausible. I would prefer that, at least, because it would be better if those explosions at least happened, I don't know, some actual war zone already, rather than one creating an all-new one, which is what I'm a little bit concerned about.
I'm going to go on the positive possible thought process, considering it can be used as a fertilizer, and say it was a bunch of farmers trying to add some sense of nutrients to their farming grounds that may have just gotten it dropped off to them by accident.
Now, see,
Hopefully.
that would be a happier twist on things, and I don't think that is the case, because if the farmers got hold of it for use in farming, then the authorities would probably know exactly where it is and be bringing up the farmers on charges right now. Whether they received it knowingly or not. Because that seems the general push of the legal system these days. A rail car carrying ammonium nitrate left a plant operated by explosives manufacturer Dino Noble in Cheyenne, Wyoming on April 12th, according to an incident report filed May 10th by a representative of the company with the National Response Center. The report states that the chemical was released due to an unknown cause and was discovered missing after the rail car arrived in Saltdale, California, an unincorporated community more than 1,000 miles from Cheyenne. At the time of the report, the car was empty and on its way back to Wyoming. According to the company, ammonium nitrate has been a key ingredient in both terror attacks and fatal accidents. At least 581 people were killed in 1947 when more than 2,000 tons of the chemical exploded on a cargo ship that had docked at a port in Texas City, Texas. The same year, in Brest, France, a Norwegian ship that contained about 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate exploded, leaving 29 deaths. It was also used in the 1970 bombing on the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus that led to 1 death and several injuries, and in the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, which killed 168 people. You may remember McVeigh's efforts. Notably, all those numbers are much smaller than 60,000 pounds.
I'm just gonna go with Nexus Hunter's theory and say that Taco Bell's gonna have a great new burrito coming out.
Oh dear.
Ammonium nitrate used for a sex toy. This pussy be bomb, yo.
Oh no. Guaranteed to just make you explode all over. A quick infographic on the reliable nature of the media, which is to say not at all. This is a short chart talking about the actual causes of death in the year of 2016 versus the media coverage of death in the year 2016. During 2016, 30% of people who died of heart disease, 29.5% died of cancer. Road incidents, falls, accidents, 7.6%, low respiratory disease, around 7.4%, Alzheimer's disease, 5.6%, stroke, 4.9%, diabetes, 3.8%, drug overdose, 2.8%, kidney disease, 2.7%, pneumonia, influenza, 2.5%, suicide, 1.8%, and homicide, 0.9%. The same year, the media reported on, 2.5% of deaths that were caused by heart disease, 13.5% caused by cancer. Let's see, road incidents, 1.9%. Well, the big news was homicide and terrorism. Terrorism not even actually making the list in 2016. Not many deaths from terrorism in 2016, it would seem. Although I wonder how many things were qualified on that line. What I note is that these numbers have surely changed since, and I think most of us know exactly how they've changed, and might note how much more they aren't reporting on in the media. Just a fun little infographic that Luna shined through into the rage pages. Well, we got 15 minutes remaining, and as long as I take enough time to do the raffle, we will get that on. Yeah, I'm sorry. You heard about that, right? The latest terror attack where Indian fellow decided to take a U-Haul to apparently take out the White House, didn't quite get to the gate, was immediately arrested, and had a pristine Nazi flag. They arrested him. And they immediately talked about how he had to be a white supremacist as opposed to just most plausibly batshit insane. As someone pointed out, truly the writer's strike is taking a terrible toll. Even on the government. They just can't get good writing these days. Sad, really. You know, that brings me to another side note. Did you know that the reason Deadpool 3 is being held up, among other things, is because the writer's strike means that, for some reason, and this baffles the hell out of me, apparently Ryan Reynolds is, at the moment, forbidden legally from improv comedy.
Why?
Strike somehow. You say why, I say why. I also ask how? How do you legally prohibit someone from improving comedy? I mean, is it just that you can't tell a joke in the movie, or are the police listening in right now waiting for him to let a pun slip in friendly company? And I'll be very sad if it actually interferes with releasing that movie. I really, really loved it. He's nailed that character.
I just hope that it gets to go into theaters, so that I have a chance to see it before the only place you'll be allowed to see it is streaming on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I love the Deadpool movies. Some people I know don't like them that I like, and I still don't understand how that can be. It's masterpieces, both of them. Okay. Let's see, what shall I fit it? Maybe you can help me decide. A archive article on medical AI's weaponization. Oh, ex-Biden nuclear official Sam Britton arrested in third luggage theft case? You've heard about Sam Britton, right? Yeah, I think we've got a winner right here if you have no objections.
No objections. No, I've never heard of him or of this and luggage theft.
You may recognize his face as we scroll down a bit. Sam Brinton was the former official of nuclear waste for the Biden administration, famous for showing up everywhere in a dress. And then it turned out that he was in the habit of just getting those dresses by boosting whatever luggage he could haul out of an airport.
I don't thankfully recognize the face. That is the face of somebody that I would expect to be on a list that would prohibit them from being around parks and schools.
And this is him wearing a t-shirt as opposed to his typical attire of a dress of a flamboyant nature, or some sort of harness. And he was on a list for being a nuclear waste official. Samuel Brinton was arrested on Wednesday in connection with a luggage theft incident at Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. The arrest marks the third time Brinton has come into legal peril over stolen luggage at an airport. Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority executed a search warrant May 17th in Montgomery County, Maryland, in connection with allegations of stolen property in luggage from Reagan National Airport that was brought to the Department's attention in 2023. Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority spokesperson James Johnson said in an email statement to Entity on Friday. Johnson said Brinton, 35, Rockville, Maryland, was taken in custody on Wednesday on pending charges of grand larceny, and I'm too caffeinated, I can tell, because I'm really dropping syllables. Entity News initially reported on the arrest on Thursday after a record from Montgomery County. Maryland listed Brinton as fugitive from justice. I'm just hoping they have more pictures of Brinton here. Who is Sam Brinton? Brinton, who has Master of Science degree, was appointed Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Office of Nuclear Energy. The position entails managing spent nuclear fuel waste disposal policy for the U.S. Department of Energy, DOE. According to hiring documents contained by the National Polls via the Freedom of Information Act, Brinton's position entailed having top secret Q clearance, and he received a $178,000 annual salary, which would have, one thinks, been more than sufficient to buy their own luggage. Nevertheless, Brinton was placed on leave in November after being charged in the first luggage theft case. By December 12th, the DOE confirmed Brinton was no longer employed with the department, which is good news. Brinton had previously faced 15 years in prison for the first two luggage theft cases, but had avoided incarceration. Brinton faced a felony theft charge in Nevada, but pleaded no contest to misdemeanor theft on April 12th. According to court records, Judge Ann Zimmerman ordered Brinton to pay $3,670 in restitution to the victim and to stay out of trouble, according to court records. A week after the Nevada court ruling, Brinton again avoided prison time in Minnesota through a pre-trial diversion program with the Hennepin County Attorney. As part of the decision, Brinton was also ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation and write a letter of apology to the owner of stolen luggage, among other requirements. Brinton's arrest could jeopardize his status in the pre-trial diversion program. You know, I think I need to actually look up some pictures of Sam Brinton. I don't think this mugshot really does them justice. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Sam Brinton. If I understand correctly, some of his dresses were recognized by the people who had them stolen. They actually saw him on TV wearing the stuff they lost in their luggage, which, as I understand it, his primary explanation for why was that he just picked up the wrong suitcase and didn't notice. 3 times or so. Wow. Okay, it's raffle time. I'm just going to replay the trailer here. As I ask, did anyone else want into the raffle? For Mega Man Legacy. Thus far I have marked down Korg and Kefti. If anyone actually enjoys this, I wish them the best of. This is not one that I will force them to do more because I've never been good at platforms. I'm not saying to play them, but this wasn't my series was Bonks Day. Long personal memories of beating Bonks Day. And Bonks Day 2. No idea why that one doesn't with me. The giant-headed caveman spinning really appealed to me for some reason. Oh yes, and I did play some Demon's Crest, but I didn't actually play that legitimately. Just wanted to fly around as a giant gargoyle and wreck stuff. I didn't see a reason to interfere with the power structure of a demon-ruled world. What was the point? Okay. No further entries into the raffle, and yes, Sam Brinton is colossally creepy. Also, rather aggressively self-destructive. I mean, he held an incredibly prestigious position to blow it all just because he wants to boost some people's luggage. He doesn't even know it's in there. What was the point of that? Insane. It's raffle time.
Some people do weird things. And he was, yeah,
His
just
appointment,
no.
personally, like, just from day one, felt like some sort of upraised middle finger, not only to the American public, which should be pretty used to by now. I mean, we have an actual senile con man with a stench of corruption that could be detected from space in office. It's not plausible he can dress himself, much less lead what supposedly is the most powerful country on the planet. That's sheer insult across the board. But in Sam Brinton's case, it seemed like a major upraised finger to the very concept of nuclear energy itself. Which, yeah, that's just... Nuclear energy doesn't deserve that. It's awesome. And if you're truly wanting the greenest power, that's it. It's always been that. It's been neglected for so long and so maligned just because some ancient commies fucked it up as hard as they possibly could. The designs have improved so much since then. So it just makes me sad. It's so unappreciated, inappropriately. It should be the most nuclear power, best power. moving on. We will now raffle off the game. I didn't see any other tags in chat to join the raffle. So, first for Korg. Korg has been gifted the number 40 by Cosmic Background Radiation. It's not a very good number, as the highest number is what wins, but there's no guarantee whatsoever that Kefki will get higher. Next up, Kefki's number. Oof. 22. I'm sorry to say, Kefki, that you have not won the raffle, but if you're really big on Mega Man, I'll let you in a little secret. Next Thursday, it will also be a Steam key for a Mega Man Legacy Collection. There's hope. It's just not the first one, it's the second one in that case. And they'll be done with Mega Man games. And we'll get on the games that I will come to raffle for myself. But I'm not going to, because that just feels unethical. Okay. Congratulations, Korg the Brutal. You have won Mega Man Legacy Collection 1. I will have that Steam key to you shortly after the show's end. Congratulations.
Congrats, Korg.
Right. Well, thank you for joining me, Kadant. I very much appreciate it. If there's anyone who wants to promote their own channels, their own content creation in any capacity, please feel free to do so now in the chat. And you as well, Kadant, if you have anything else to promote, feel free. Otherwise, my schedule, you all know, will continue as normal. Expected to be with the next side quest on Tuesday. Wednesday, I may or may not stream some Phasmophobia with friends. Thursday will be the SCP review, and where we raffle off the next key for Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. And it basically repeats from there, except for next Sunday, not tomorrow, but the Sunday of next week will be the next Angry Fromen and Arketer Autism Friendship stream. Last Sunday's puppy came out really well. I don't have the printout handy, but I'd show it off. It really has some lamp potential. Why? Because I sculpted it to resemble a laser puppy. I just like the idea.
A laser puppy?
I don't know if you know what a laser puppy is, but it's arbitrary and adorable. Also hideously dangerous as a concept, which really gets kind of glossed over, of course, the cartoon. Because you don't get a laser puppy shooting you in the face and just go, ow. Especially not if it otherwise shatters vases. But that's neither here nor there. However, tomorrow, there will be absolutely nothing. And if that should disappoint you, you clearly don't pay attention to my schedule. Okay. No one does, really. Laser puppies to be smart. Final thoughts? Any objections, complaints, lamentations for the state of the world, such as that remains? Words of wisdom?
Thank you for having me. And everybody, just remember, if you see a 95-year-old slowly approaching you with a knife, tasering her will get the job done.
Guaranteed, surefire drop. You don't want to take that risk. They're old. They've learned things. Dangerous things. You don't know what they could pull. Could just be an act. You think, oh, you're a shambling old granny. She probably wants to give you a hug or something. And then, bam! Needle through the sinuses.
Although a 45 probably would have gotten the job done faster.
And one might note, this was legitimately a Monty Python skit, roving gangs of grannies.
Cue the Benny Hill music.
Oh, that's way too fast. No. Something traveling the speed of a 95-year-old using a walking frame to move it all.